Hi, in this one we're going to build out the module tree for our project. So I'm actually going to close down the script editor, we're not using that. And again, I'm going to change the scaling factor just to zoom in here, because I think this will just make it a bit easier to see in this screen share. Okay, we're going to start by adding a container to our chain. So I always start by adding a container to my projects, and I give it the name container 0. And usually when I'm naming things in HISE that have a number after them, where it needs some kind of index, I'm going to start from 0. And this is something that ties into scripting and something you'll tackle later in your HISE journey. But often when we're working in scripts, it's easier to start from 0. So that's just what I always do in the module tree, so that those two things tie together nicely when I get to scripting. Now in this particular project, I'm actually going to only use one container, but still, I'll call it container 0. We're going to add an effect to this container. We're going to add a simple reverb. And I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it Simple Reverb. And I'm using camel case here, where the first word starts with a lowercase, and then any subsequent words start with an uppercase, and we don't have any spaces. And I'll be using this naming system for pretty much everything. We'll get a bit more detail on that in a little while. Okay, within the container, I'm going to add 3 samplers. And I'm going to rename them. You can guess what I'm going to call them. Sampler 0, Sampler 1, Sampler 2. Now each sampler gets a default envelope. For the first sampler, Sampler 0, I'm going to delete this. And I'm actually going to add in an AHDSR envelope. And now I'm going to show you the naming convention I use when I'm naming modules that are within other modules. And actually, let's do this in the big view. It might be a bit easier to see. Actually, we get the same amount of room. But anyway, I'll show you here. So I want my modules to be named in such a way so that when I see the module name later on, I know exactly what it refers to, even though I'm just seeing it in isolation. So at the moment, if I just see AHDSR envelope 1, I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that envelope is in sampler 1, sampler 2, sampler 0, or if it's somewhere else. So the first thing I want to know is, where is this modulator? So I will give it the name of the parent, so of the sampler that it's in this case. So I'll start by calling it sampler 0. Then I want to know, what is it modulating? Well, this one's modulating gain. We're in the gain chain, so I will call it sampler 0 gain. But we're not done yet. I want to know what kind of modulator this is. Is it a CC modulator, a velocity modulator, an envelope? I don't know. So I will put in here the type of modulator, and this is an AHDSR, so that is what I will add here. And there we go. Now if I had more than one of these in this modulation chain, then I might call this sampler 0 gain AHDSR 0, and then the next one would be the same but with a 1 at the end. But since I've only got one of them, I don't bother putting the number. So this is a naming convention I use throughout my module tree, and you'll see this again and again, and I end up with some really long and weird looking names, and they're not very human readable, they're ugly names. But when it comes to scripting, it just saves so much time, because you know exactly what you're dealing with just by looking at the name, and you don't need any context for it. It's really great. So I recommend you follow this naming convention, or if you've got a better one, let me know, and maybe I'll adopt that. You want some system that lets you know what you're dealing with, even without having all the context of where that module exists in the module tree. And it's something you're probably going to get most benefit from when scripting, but you'll also see later in this series how it helps us when we're just connecting controls on our UI to the modules in our module tree. It just saves us a bit of time. So within the attack time chain of this envelope, I'm going to go and add a random modulator. I'm just going to pull this down to about 0.15. So this will just add a bit of randomness to the attack time. And I'm going to name this modulator. So let's see if you can figure out what I will call it. Sampler 0, gain AHDSR, attack, random. So again, when I see this in my script, I'll know straight away that it's a random modulator and it's connected to the attack time of an AHDSR in the gain chain of sampler 0. All the information is there and it's self-contained. There is one drawback to this naming system. It doesn't really tell me what I had in mind when I added this, like what was the purpose, why did I want to randomize the attack? And that is like the only sort of downside to this. It would be nice if there was kind of like a note system in HISE where we could attach little notes to the modules to say why we added that module and why we've got those settings. Who knows, maybe that will come in the future. But that's kind of a minor detail that we can solve in other ways. Okay, so let's close up this envelope here. We're going to add another modulator. We're actually going to add a time variant MIDI controller. So a MIDI controller, this is a CC modulator, so things like your mod wheel or any other standard MIDI controllers. So you can see it's set to CC1 by default, so that would be mod wheel. And I'm going to rename this. You know what I'm going to call it. Sampler 0, gain, CC0. Okay, so we're done with the gain chain for now of this sampler. Next I want to go to the pitch chain, and we're going to add a pitch wheel modulator. I'm going to set the pitch to 2 semitones, so that's the range that the pitch wheel will have. And I'm going to rename this Sampler 0 pitch wheel. I'm also going to add a random modulator here as well, so voice start, random modulator, Sampler 0 pitch random. And we'll just give it a small amount of pitch randomization, maybe something like 0.05 semitones. Okay, and that's it for Sampler 0 for now. We will come in here and add some more stuff later on. So let's fold that up. Let's fold that up. And let's hit Control, Shift, and S and save our XML. Very important to save that regularly, just in case HISE crashes or something. You don't want to lose your work. Okay, for Sampler 1, we're going to stick with the default envelope. So let's just rename that. And we're going to leave the controls as they are because later on we'll be connecting up controls on the UI to control these two knobs. So it doesn't really matter what their values are for now. We'll add a velocity modulator. And I'm going to pull down the intensity to about 75. We're also going to add a random modulator here. I like to add random modulators all over the place because it just adds a bit of activity, a bit of dynamicness to whatever you're doing. And you add it so it's just subtle, so it doesn't really stand out, but it just means that every time you hit the key, you get something that's slightly different. Now we'll set it right down, again to about 0.15. Okay, I'm going to add a pitch wheel and a random modulator to the pitch section again, just like I did on Sampler 0. For Sampler 2, I actually want exactly the same setup I have for Sampler 1, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete Sampler 2 here. I'm going to open Sampler 1 in the big view, and in the header I'm going to right click and select Copy Sampler 1 to Clipboard. And then I'm going to click the plus button on our container, and down here I'm going to select Add Sampler 1 from Clipboard, and then we just have to rename the modules. I don't know why it's called it Sampler 7, that's really weird. We'll rename that Sampler 2. And I'll just rename each of these modulators. So that's the basic module tree setup. We do have to add a few more modules to this, which we'll do shortly, but before that we're going to map the samples. So head over to the next video and we'll get started with that.